And so, welcome everybody. Good morning. I have an exciting new agenda. We did a little bit of brainstorming on our agenda last week, Chad and Craig and I, and have kind of consolidated some of the items and have added a new item. But I also want to say for today, we have an extra special guest joining us. So once a month, we bring in a special guest expert in their field. So Taylor Doolittle will be here in a little bit. And so I will move us fairly quickly through this new agenda today. But we will, as always, start with brags and struggles. So anybody got anything that you are proud of, excited about? Could be little, could be big, or something you're struggling with and want to crowdsource.
Yeah, I guess I'll say something. Did a showing for Kayla last week, so that was my first showing with some potential house hackers, so that was cool. Not sure how they turned out, but that was exciting. Scheduled one on my own through the MLS, and also convincing some of my friends and realizing that I'm a real estate agent here in Colorado too, so word's getting out and spreading, so pretty exciting.
Fantastic. I love it. That's great. Congrats, Ian. Yay. You're on your way. Anybody else brags or struggles? Something you're stoked about, could be big or little, or something you're struggling with.
My last day of work.
Yeah.
Got my first. Nice.
All right, Ryan.
Congrats.
Alexa, that's huge. Congratulations. We are so excited to have you full time now. Woo! Girl, you gonna slay it. Heck yeah. Just real quick, I'm gonna say welcome to Taylor Doolittle, who's our guest today. And Taylor, we'll get to you in a few minutes. We're just gonna move through the rest of our agenda, but excited to have you here. So welcome. All right, so anybody else have anything you're stoked about or anything you're struggling with and want to crowdsource?
I got my first Airbnb booking, so I was pretty excited about that. Just listed it like a few days ago and got a couple of reservations. So
nice. That's great, Brian. Congratulations. That's got to feel so good.
Definitely.
Woo, 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 woo. Sweet. All right. Anybody else? Just anything you're stoked about or anything you are struggling with and want to crowdsource? Going once? Going twice, save it for next week. All right, so let's take a look at the calendar real quick. So coming up, as you all know, we have a really awesome extra special meetup on October 6th, so next Wednesday. This is at the Blake Street Tavern. This is the one that Craig hosts. And as you all probably recall, Rachel Richards, Miss Money Honey herself, super, super big badass in the realm of financial independence, is our special guest. It's going to be a ton of fun. Invite your friends, invite your family, invite potential clients, as well as potential agents that you might want to join the team. So yeah, and there are you'll see assets going out in Instagram, and if you want copies of that yourself, we're happy to give that to you guys to spread the word as well. You can also, there's easy ways to copy paste it. So let me know if you have questions about that, but definitely spread the word. We also went ahead and scheduled your quarterly check-ins with Craig for the week of October 11th. So those are on your calendar, up and coming. Just a chance every 3 months to check in on how everything's going. Focus on your rocks, all that kind of stuff. And then we also have a few more meetups now on the calendar. October 13th from 6 to 9 p.m. is the Sloan's Lake House Hacking Meetup, co-hosted by our very own Jeff White and Brian. And that's at Joyride Brewing in Edgewater. And then Dan's meetup scheduled for October 29th. So always the last Friday of the month from 6 to 8 p.m. at Wibby Brewing. And that's for all of our North Side peeps, Boulder County, north of Denver, anybody up in that range. So that's what I've got for calendar for today. We'll move on to notes and nuggets. And as you can see in the chat, again, we've consolidated our powwow agenda a little bit, just sort of creating it as we go based on what we feel is working or not. So this section now includes solutions to recurring problems, as well as self-development nuggets, any new offers from contractors or lenders. So does anybody have anything along these lines for today?
I have a old coworker that I worked with many years ago who now does flooring. I haven't seen any, well, I've seen his work on his like Snapchat and Instagram and stuff, but I haven't had anyone use him yet. But he is like a very, very hard worker and like efficient person. Because I worked with him for 3 years, so I saw that. So I'm going to add him to the list. His name is Eric. And yeah, use him if you guys need someone to do flooring for your clients.
Awesome. Thank you, Megan. Yeah, it makes such a big difference when we've had that firsthand experience and can really see somebody's work ethic and good, good work, good showing up. So awesome. Any other notes and nuggets? Again, I'm trying to keep us short today so that we can get to Taylor and hang out with him for a while.
I have two quick ones. Electrician, I was introduced by my neighbor to electrician, super good guy. I've referred him to one client. Sounds like he does good work. I know electricians I've struggled with before. So I'll add him. And then landscapers, I went through every single person on our list and emailed them all, and 3 people got back to me. So I can share the 3 that at least responded. We may need to get rid of the others.
That's great. Way to audit that list, Chad. Super helpful. Right on. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Any other last notes or nuggets? Going once, going twice, and we will move along to a new section for our powwows. And I just want to give this about 3 minutes for today, but in the future, we can spend some more time on this. And this was Chad's idea to really bring in a market pulse. So this is an opportunity to tune in on what we have all seen from the weekend's activities. So Chad, if there's anything you want to chime in with here, and yeah, we'll take it from there.
Yeah, for sure. I just thought it'd be kind of helpful. I know when I was just first starting out, I mean, still, but just to get a read on what how much over asking you're putting in, how much, if you're communicating with the listing agents, how many offers they have in hand. If you're seeing a difference between single family house, like more forever home versus investment house type houses, just to get a kind of read on if the market's slowing down or what's winning, what are you losing with. If you went 30 over and you lost, there's 15 offers. I think that's just helpful to know for everybody else. If everybody is putting in an offer and it's 5,000 over, 10,000 over, and you're winning them, then would be helpful to know for everybody as well. But that's kind of the idea. I did have one put an offer in. It was 585. We put it in at 605 with an escalation to 625, and we lost it. It ended up going 610, but it was a little bit unique situation that the one that got it already had a relationship with the seller, so he felt more comfortable going that way. But so that gives you an idea. 25 over in that like 600 price range. Got it done. So that's kind of my market pulse. I don't know if anybody has anything real quick for today, but we could yeah.
Yeah, so I had one that was here in Westminster. It's a nice house, 5-bedroom, maybe 2 or 3 bath, and it was listed at 490. I ended up waiting. I had really good conversations with the listing agent. Thanks for your advice on that. And waited until like the last day when they're accepting offers. It went from 490, went up to 525. I put it for 530. I ended up going with the cash offer, as I told you. So that was a difference of like $40,000. And that's what I've been seeing is more like 30,000, 40,000 over. But I don't know. I'm still pretty new to all this. So
No, that's helpful.
I showed a client a property this weekend listed at 400K in Ruby Hill, and it's definitely like an investor special. And the listing agent claims that their top 8 offers came in at 455, 460, and 465. I don't know if I believe that, because when I first talked to her, she said they were all investor offers under 400K. So I don't know. That's what she claims. But is that the truth? I'll see when it closes.
Right on. Well, super helpful, right, to be taking the pulse of all of this. So, yeah, this will be, I think, a really helpful new addition. It's something that we sometimes touch on from time to time, but I love that we have another way to organize this information and really be focused on it every week. So, thank you, Chad, and thank you, everybody else. And without further ado, I am super, super excited to introduce our special guest for today, Taylor Doolittle, who is a rock star realtor in Minnesota. And Taylor, I'm just going to pass it over to you. You can say a little bit more, introduce yourself, and we are so excited to talk. So we are in the process of really wanting to ramp up our listing game and excited to hear more about how to really rock open houses. So over to you.
Sure. Awesome. First of all, thanks so much for having me on, guys. I love being helpful, and hopefully the information that I share today is helpful to you guys. I'm a friend of Craig's. I am a real estate agent in the Minneapolis, St. Paul areas of Minnesota. I've been a real estate agent since 2017. My business partner and I started a team in 2017. Now, 4 years later, we've got about 12 agents on our team. We'll sell around 450 homes as a team this year. And this year, myself, as an agent, I'll likely sell, my goal is 100 transactions. I'm really close. I'll probably be in the 90s or right at 100. So hopefully the information that I share with today does not come off as like, look at me, look what I did. This is hopefully super encouraging to you all, depending on where you are in your journey as an agent. Hopefully it's encouraging to you and motivating to see, hey, with using a couple strategic tools, this is what's possible in only a couple years. A little bit of background for myself. I'm not originally from Minnesota. I did not go to high school here. I did not go to college here. I moved here in 2011 after graduating college because my, at the time, girlfriend lived here and I didn't want to break up. So I moved up here. We got married in 2013. Between 2011 and 2015, I just worked in retail. I worked at the Apple store, helping grandmas make photo albums for their grandkids. Then moved away we moved out of the States for 2 years. And then I moved back in 2017. So 2017 was when I was like, hey, I thought I'll work in corporate tech. And then my brother-in-law, who was an agent at the time, said, hey, I think you'd be great at this real estate agent thing. He had been a real estate agent for 1.5 years at that point. He said, hey, let's start a team. So here I am, 2017, never thought of being a realtor ever in my life, did not have any sort of sphere. The couple people that I knew, I had just left for 2 years and came back. So essentially starting in the real estate business, knowing 0 people. And my first full calendar year, I was able to sell, I think, 38 homes. And then year 2 was like 47. Year 3 was 82 last year. And then this year I'm on track to hit 100. And the primary way that I built my business, honestly, was through open houses. And so a lot of people in the real estate sphere will say, hey, open houses are a waste of time. And they totally can be if you don't do them well. But hopefully today I can share some information with you guys to, if you decide that that's one of the pillars of building your business, then I will teach you how to make it not a waste of time. Also, all the agents on our team use this strategy or a version of these things that I'll talk to you guys about, and all of them have success, varying levels of success doing this. So this is not just a, hey, Tay did this and somehow he's a weirdo and it worked. It actually does really work, and it's not rocket science. It's all about just being helpful and adding value to clients. So I put together a quick slideshow to share with all of you. I know that the rule of slideshows is don't do just text. This is a lot of text. I did it this way because you guys will have access to the recording. So you can go back to the recording and just use that kind of as notes as you go through. I'll chat through this. Try not to go too fast, but if you guys have any questions after the meeting is over, if you guys have any specific questions, would be happy to stick around for a couple minutes. or even let you guys have my contact information if you just want to reach out through text or give me a call, just like, hey, what about this? Super happy to be a resource, because I just am I'm confident that this stuff works. So I've never shared a presentation on Zoom, so I don't know what this is going to look like. So let me share my screen and then you guys tell me if it looks good. I'm not going to do it in full screen. I'm just going to do it as this way. Can you guys see this pretty good?
Yep, looks great.
Perfect. So open houses, how to effectively win buyer clients through building trust and adding value. So through this, I'll share a couple tips on how do you find a house to do an open house at? What are some things to remember? What are the goals? What are some really common things that agents do when holding open houses that are really big mistakes? And then what are some strategies while you're in the open house so you can hopefully win clients? Any questions before I hit it off? All right. So in my opinion, open houses are super beneficial because they're beneficial to every party involved. So one, it adds value to the seller because you're bringing more potential buyers through their door. You just got to get people through the threshold of a house in order to sell the house. It adds value to the listing agent of the house. If that's not you, it adds value to them because it makes them look great to their sellers, right? It's that perception of, hey, seller, look, I'm doing this thing to help you sell your house. But then it also adds value to you as the agent holding the open house because it helps you find new clients. So what's the ultimate goal of an open house? In my opinion, as the agent holding the open house, it's to get contact info of potential buyer clients. So a couple tips as you guys are building your listing inventory, you might get to a point where you say, hey, there's no new list. Our team doesn't have any new listings to do open houses, or there might be too many agents on your team that want open houses compared to the inventory that you have. So something that I did when I first started out was I would go to the MLS, do a search of the MLS for people that are in your brokerage, and then you're basically cold calling agents from your brokerage, strategically choosing the house that they have listed. So maybe, hey, we know that the house is going to get most traffic in the first and second week. So try to pick something maybe that's first or second week on the market. And then depending on what do you want your client database to look like? Do you want to work with a lot of first-time home buyers? Well, then strategically pick houses that you know are going to be good first-time home buyer houses for people to go through. So in our version of the MLS, I'm able to go in and sort properties listed by my brokerage that I'm at. And then I would just go on a map like, oh, I want to be in that suburb. Perfect. Hey, Susie, I see you have an open house this weekend, or I see that you have a new house listed. I would love to be helpful to you and your sellers by holding an open house for you guys. Would that be helpful? Would that make you look awesome to your sellers? And you're adding value to the agent by adding value to their sellers. So calling people, and then I suggest doing that mid to early in the week. So then the agent is able to book that on the MLS. So people have a couple days to find it and people are going to come to it. Also, double check if an agent says, sure, yeah, Saturday, tell me the time, 12 to 2, 1 to 3, whenever. Double check that it's actually booked as an open house in the MLS, because I've definitely been in open houses where I'm like, dang it, there's nobody here. And then I look on and it never got posted. It's like, oh, sweet, that was an awesome waste of time. Most important things to remember as you are doing an open house. So we're focusing on adding value to people to gain trust and to show them an example of how helpful you can be through the rest of the process of buying a house. We're trying to break down those natural barriers that people have. You know this feeling. You go into a retail store and whatever it is just about our human nature, most people are just going to beeline, head down, go straight where they're at. A retail employee, hey, can I help you? No, I'm good. I'm good. So people coming into an open house are the same thing. They're like, I don't want to be sold. Don't talk to me. We're trying to break down those barriers. These scripts or these just ideas of conversations, use these as a guide, but be flexible with it. These are just hopefully some ideas of conversation tracks to bring people down. And then also, in my opinion, open houses should never be a waste of time, because if nobody shows up, you should have your computer and your phone to be a hotspot at that open house. And now it's just a mobile office for you guys, right? So go with other work that you can do, whether it's, hey, I've got some emails to send out, some things to follow up on, or, hey, I'm in here. Maybe you use a lot of social media, take some video of the house, do a walkthrough, take some selfies, whatever you want to do. So just changing that mindset of, hey, this weekend is going to be valuable to me, whether I meet a client or I just get some work done, bring stuff to do. Common mistakes to avoid. I see this all of the time. And if you guys want to see what you shouldn't do, on one of these upcoming weekends, go through a couple open houses. Don't tell the person in there that you're an agent, and see how they make you feel, and see how it feels when they do these things. Does not feel good. No sign-in sheets. Hey, it's super common for people to do, hey, please sign in because sellers want to know who's coming through their house. No, they don't. Like, they know that. They're going to put down incorrect stuff. Don't attack them as soon as they open the door, right? They walk in the door and then it's an immediate hi. And they're like taking off their shoes and they're flustered because someone is in their face. Don't follow them around the house like a vulture. Don't try to, and what's weird, but actually so true, is don't try to sell them the house. Don't try to sell them the house that you're in right now. Okay, you've got the open house booked. You're sitting in a house. Now, what do you do? So number one, you need to pre-qualify people basically as they're walking in the door. You guys have all been in those, you've all shown up to a house, maybe on a showing at the same time there's an open house, or maybe you've held an open house and it's just heavy traffic all the way through. And it can get kind of overwhelming. Like, do I talk to those people? Do I talk to those people? Who do I spend my time on? Who do I try to win as a client? And so we're just trying to pre-qualify the buyers. Pro tip, if you have any lenders that you know are personable and like good with people, if there's an expectation that the open house is going to be busy, you can either have another agent on your team hold that with you, and then you guys can kind of like trade, like, new people are coming in, your turn, new people, your turn, or have a lender come with you. So if there's multiple people, they can have a conversation while you're having a conversation, with the expectation of, hey, lender, you come and do this open house with me. Anybody that walks through, any leads that are generated through this open house, we'll run with together, kind of thing. And the goal is to get information, those pre-qualifying questions, getting specific information without directly asking them the question. And the ultimate goal is like, do they have an agent, and are they first-time home buyers? Some really great ways that I've found to get answers to those questions without actually asking those questions. So somebody walks in, hey guys, welcome to the open house. Awesome day out there. You guys looking at a bunch of places today? Awesome. It's an honor for you guys to come hang out with me. Have you guys been looking for very long? That's an awesome question for you to ask, to see, hey, did they just start the search? Have they been searching for very long? To give you those hints of, are they represented or not? No, actually, we just started the search. Okay, ding, ding, ding. Maybe first-time home buyer. No, we've been looking for a couple months. Okay, more likely to have an agent, but that's okay. Just, you got to dig a little bit deeper. So no, we just started. Hey, let's say we've been looking for a couple months. Awesome. Have you guys made any offers yet? No, not yet. Our lease ends in spring, so we're just kind of looking for fun. Boom. First-time home buyer probably doesn't have an agent. Yes, we have been making offers. Probably has an agent because they're making offers. But if they say, yep, we've been making offers, awesome, how's it been going? At that point, this is for you to dig a little bit deeper, because they might have an agent, but still add value, because there's, as you guys know, there's no barrier to entry to be an agent, and there's a lot of really not tire kicker agents out there that don't provide awesome value to their clients. And they may be making offers via Redfin or with a new agent that doesn't know strategically how to get an offer accepted in a tough climate. So those are some really easy pre-qualifying questions to get answers to questions that you don't want to directly ask them. Because of course, you walk into an open house with an agent that's not good at holding an open house. Hi, are you represented? No, yes, we are, right? The knee-jerk reaction, yes, we are, get away from me. So once you've kind of pre-qualified the buyer, what I like to do is I stay seated at the kitchen table or the dining room table as they're looking in the main level. And I'm just very low pressure, just saying, hey guys, welcome to the open house. No pressure at all. You've got free reign of the house. If you buy this house, you're going to buy the closet, you're going to buy the refrigerator, you're going to make sure to look at everything. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'm not going to follow you around like a vulture. And they kind of chuckle because they were just in an open house where an agent was really desperate and really, really pushy, right? So now here are some examples of different conversation tracks that you can bring people through with the ultimate goal of, hey, in order for me to provide this value that I just talked to you about, client, you need to give me your contact information in order to receive this information or this value that I'm bringing to you. So these first couple conversations have been the most successful way for me to build my business, super honestly. And they are all very genuine value additions to these people. So someone comes in, you pre-qualify them, you chat it up a little bit, you're sitting at the kitchen table, maybe they go and look at the bedrooms, and then maybe they're walking back, and then you just start up another conversation. So are you guys looking at a bunch of houses today? Awesome. Have you guys been looking for very long? Then you find out like they just started. Congrats guys, it's super exciting. Hey, just so you know, you may have already done this already, but just to be helpful to you guys, the very first thing that I always encourage people to do when they start the search is you gotta connect with an awesome local lender. In this competitive market, what's weird, but what's so true is the reputation of your lender goes a really long way, either strengthening your offer or weakening your offer. Would it be helpful if I introduce you to an awesome local lender? Awesome, perfect. What's the best contact information for me to send the intro to? Then you send this referral to this lender partner. The entire time you're pumping up your lender. Then you can make that connection to the lender, and then the entire time that lender's pumping up you, right? So you have this strategy already built with your lender, so you can talk each other up without you having to talk yourself up, if that makes sense. Another awesome conversation to bring people through. Sweet, thanks for coming and visiting me. Just curious, how did you guys find out about the open house? Oh, we found it via Zillow. Oh, awesome. Hey, Zillow and Trulia and Redfin can be really great tools as you guys are in just that research phase. But as you guys enter into the active, you're looking for houses phase, just be aware that Zillow and a lot of these websites aren't super accurate. You might find 10 homes that you like, you send them to me and I say, hey, 9 of them are sold. They just don't update their websites very often. The main source of real estate info in Denver is called the MLS. It's actually the source of data that all of these consumer websites pull information from. And the way to get access to that is to be set up on an automatic search from an agent. And as I know you guys are aware, things go super quick. So getting on time, live, as soon as possible data is super important in a market like this, right? Would it be helpful if I just got you guys this information? Perfect. I just need a couple bits of information from you, maximum price, bedrooms, bath, whatever. Perfect. What's the best contact information for me to send this to? Super helpful. You might do home buyer seminars. This is something that I did a ton in my first 2 years as a way just to post constantly on social media, like, hey, I'm doing a home buyer seminar. this is just another idea. Hey guys, if it would be helpful, I know you guys are just starting the search. I'm actually running a first-time homebuyer seminar next Wednesday on Zoom. I'm going to have an awesome lender with me to answer all of those high-level financial questions that you guys might have. We're going to talk about the 10 simple steps of buying a home. What's your number? I'll shoot you an invite. What's the best contact information for me to send this to? Would it be helpful to you, do you think, to kind of get a high-level overview of what this process looks like? That's a good one to take people through. If I've tried,
excuse me, Taylor.
Yep.
You know, we are at 9:30, but if you guys can stay on a little bit longer, I know I'm getting a lot out of this. So, you know, but I just want to name the time. So if you do need to bounce, this is recorded. But yeah, so carry on.
Cool. I'm almost done, guys, just with the main bit of information here. And again, if you got to go and you have a little follow-up questions, just get my contact information from Craig and feel free to reach out, honestly. So if I've tried all of those different tracks to try to gather that information and they're just like stiff arm after stiff arm, no. Then this is like my last ditch effort. Like, hey guys, I know that was a lot of information with you. I'm sorry if it was overwhelming. It was probably like drinking water from a fire hose. Would it be helpful if I just sent you an email with a recap of all the points that we chatted about? That's last ditch effort. Another creative way to try to build trust with people is be honest about the house and even point out the bad. Because, you know, you've all been in houses where the house is just weird or it's just goofy or something. So as people are coming through, if you know that there's an obvious thing wrong with it, it's like, hey guys, just so you know, the furnace is super old in this house. Be aware of that. But hey, here's some ways as a buyer that you can add protections onto mechanicals like this. So this might not be the house for you, which is totally fine. But as you guys are continuing to look at houses, just know there's ways for you to protect yourself against having an old water heater or hey guys, the layout's super goofy. I know this is a weird house, totally. But this shows you the importance of going through the house. You looking at these photos online did not show you how weird and goofy this layout was. So there was value in you guys coming through today, just so you realize that. So those are hopefully a couple good ideas of conversations to bring people through with the ultimate goal of, hey, for me to deliver this last piece of value to you, I'll send it to you. What's your contact information? So as you're delivering this information or chatting with these people, positioning, and not just body position or nonverbal body language, but also how you're positioning this verbally is super helpful. And this helps a lot in Minnesota, because Minnesota the stereotype is people are really passive aggressive. So it's really uncomfortable for people to say no or say like to not take something if you're giving it to them. So we leverage that. So you may have heard me in all of these scripts say, hey, would it be helpful if I did this? Hey, would it be helpful? And by using that as a way to start the sentence, it's really hard for people to say, no, that wouldn't be helpful for whatever reason. So use that. Very, very helpful. Hey, would it be helpful if I sent you contact information to a great lender that you can at least just chat with about financial information? No, it would not be helpful. Of course it would be helpful. So use that line. And then also, hey guys, I'm so sorry for bombarding you guys with all of this information. Hopefully it wasn't overwhelming. In Minnesota, the common reaction is, no, it was super helpful. And as they're saying that out loud, it's reinforcing like, oh yeah, that was super helpful, right? So it's a lot of psychology there too. And then this works a ton in Minnesota. Try it in Colorado, but assuming that they're going to give you their contact information. So, hey guys, in order for me to make this intro to the lender, what's the best contact information for me to send this to? I'll literally open up the contacts app on my phone with a blank new contact and say, hey, and hand them my phone. And then they just, I guess I'll take it. And then they just start putting in their contact information, right? Or if you don't feel comfortable handing someone your phone, as as soon as you say, hey, what's the best contact information for me to send this to? Do this. Like as if you're assuming that they're going to give you their contact information. You don't ask them permission. Hey, can I have your contact information? Because then that gives them the ability to say no. You're saying, what's your contact information? And then you're ready to type it in. So then their immediate reaction is 95223, whatever. And then as soon as you get that contact information, send a text right away. Because we've all been in open houses where awesome conversation, you saved their number, they walk out the door, you look at your phone, it didn't save. That was $5,000 that you just let walk out the door. Do you know what I mean? So text them while they're there and say, hey, I just sent you a text. Did that come through? Just to make sure that the number is legit and that you actually have it saved on your phone. Also, a key thing is I just never carry business cards. I don't give out business cards. I've been doing this for 4 years. I've probably given out hundreds of business cards, and I don't think once I've ever gotten anybody to reach out to me because of a business card. So what I do is I have a secondary contact card for myself in my own phone. That's my professional business card. I have links to my Zillow profile with all my reviews, my Facebook profile, my work email, my professional headshot. So if someone says, hey, you know what? Thank you. That was helpful. Can I just have your card? We'll reach out to you whenever we need to. Yeah, I actually do have a card. It's digital. What's the best number for me to send it to? And then hand them the phone or get their contact information. So digital business cards are really, really helpful. This is one of the last slides. Just so you guys know, it's just psychologically and just gut reaction. People want to say, hey, we're already working with somebody. And a great objection to that is be respectful, but still be helpful. So, hey guys, totally understand. I know that everybody has a cousin, a friend's aunt, a neighbor, a high school acquaintance that has their license. But I'm sure you've heard how crazy the market is right now. And there are actually a ton of agents out there that work part-time, quarter-time, or no time at all. And that makes it really hard to get a house when the market's changing from week to week. Just so you know, I work 7 days a week and my team sells hundreds of homes a year. If you ever feel like you could be served better, I'd love the opportunity to interview for the job. Can I just send you my contact card just in case I could ever be helpful to you? So again, it's coming from that posture of like, hey, I totally understand. I respect that relationship that you have. But if you ever think you could be served better, I would love the opportunity to interview for the job. Again, that sentence is important. That posture of like, hey, I'd love a shot. I'd love to try out instead of your agent sucks. It's your mom's friend. She doesn't work. I'm the man. I sell 100 out. Like, you know what I mean? That feels super, super different. And then lastly, the really, really important thing, and this is applicable whether it's an open house or you're cold calling or things like that. At the end of the day, you might do an open house and get 2 contacts out of it and feel like, wow, I really moved my business forward. You didn't, because getting leads is not the goal of you being a real estate agent. You selling houses is. So now that you have those leads, if you don't follow up with those leads and continue to provide value, you just wasted your weekend. So just really, really make sure to continue to follow up, which is super, super important. My last encouragement to you is if you do 4 open houses in a weekend, they're all duds. No one's coming through for whatever reason. For the last 10 minutes, as you're turning off the lights, one group walks through. You have an awesome conversation. You provide a ton of value. They're really receptive, and you win them as clients, and you sell them a house. In your guys' price point in Denver, the thousands of dollars you're going to make from generating that lead from doing 3 or 4 open houses in a weekend, calculate your dollar per hour, and it's awesome. It's really awesome, especially if you guys are using that time in the open house to be beneficial in doing other things in your job, using it as that mobile office. In order to get my business up and running, my first 2 years, I probably did 3 or 4 open houses every weekend for 2 years. And then in the past 2 years, I've done maybe 1 open house, and I'm 95% referral based now. Out of the 78 homes I've sold this year, I've 2 of those are cold calls and none of them are open houses. So it's just a great way for you to long-term for you guys to grow that past client database. Hopefully this was helpful. I know this was a lot of information, but again, if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to stick around for a couple minutes. We'd be happy to answer them for you guys.
Yeah, dude, Taylor, this is awesome, man. Sorry for jumping in late. I think I texted you my predicament, which was weird, but I'm here and I got another house hacking shirt, so fuck those guys. Anyway, dude, thank you so much for coming on. If anybody has any questions, definitely like Taylor is your guy for open houses. I think we chatted for probably about an hour at that Steamboat event that I was at maybe a month or so ago. It is blown away. And so, dude, thanks again for coming on. And I think open houses are something that we haven't really touched upon. And I think it's a really, really great way to generate some leads.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a passive way. I mean, if you guys want best dollar per hour activity, cold call. But, you know, a lot of people have objections to that. It's not fun. It's, you know, long-term rewards. But I found that open houses really suited my personality because I am a people person. So it was really easy for me to chat people up as they came in, and it was fun for me. So again, they can be effective. You just want to make sure that they're strategic and then you're following up.
Love that. Would you be able to send us the slide deck that you have?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can send that over.
Sweet. I think that'd be a really good reference.
Awesome.
Cool. Any questions, guys? Or comments or
objections that you might get in an open house that I could just try to reply to?
Super helpful. Thank you. It was awesome.
Yeah, really helpful. Thanks.
Awesome. Taylor, thank you so much. Yeah, for bringing it. And yeah, super, super appreciate it. I'm so stoked that we have this recorded now. We'll look forward to having those slides, and I'll be sure to get your contact information into our Slack so that anybody can reach out to you with questions. Super appreciate just how your generosity and helpfulness, the spirit of being helpful just shines through. And I love the orientation you have around always asking questions rather than telling. So super dope.
yeah, I'm still blown away by like just going into an open house and just getting all of the answers that you need without sounding like an asshole and like super upfront about it. Just being like, have you looked at any other houses? Have you put in any other offers? Like it just sounds like you're just genuinely curious about them, but you're actually getting some good info.
Yeah, and it's also kind of changing your mindset around this. It's like, okay, one, you as an agent, you believe in the value that you provide. So you are doing a disservice to this person walking through the house by letting them work with somebody else, right? Because you know that you provide more value than the next person. And then that mindset of doing open houses is sitting in a house is just giving yourself the opportunity to meet people, right? I did an open house at a single house. It was like a $750,000 house, which in our market for that year was an expensive house. So it wasn't first time home buyer. I sat in that house for 2 months, pulled 1 lead out of it. They let me sell their rental property as a test. It was like 180 grand. I did a good job with that. It was a grind. And then they let me sell their first house, which was their first time homebuyer house, which was 500 grand. And then they let me help them buy a $750,000 house, right? So you just don't know what things can lead to. And so it's really just putting in the time and giving yourself the opportunity to meet people. So.
Yeah. And you kind of said it yourself, right? Where a lot of your leads are just referral based now. And so everyone on the call, or most everyone on the call, there's a couple vets here, but relatively new. And so you need to start your if a referral network is just like bunch of like veins or like a spider web or whatever analogy you want to make. Like you got to just have a bunch of little starting points, right? So then they can start branching off. And then, I mean, referral is the easiest thing because that's like as passive as this business probably gets for being an agent on your own. So cool, man. Taylor, I don't want to take too much more of your time. I know you've been here for 30 to 45 minutes. So thanks so much for coming on, man. I'm sure we'll be in touch over the coming weeks and all that fun stuff. So yeah, and if there's anything we can do to add value, let us know.
Cool. You guys are awesome. I'll send you referrals anytime I have anyone moving to, it seems like everyone's moving to Colorado now. So if I have anybody that can afford a home, if I have anyone that can afford a home in Denver, I'll send them your way. I'll send you guys those slide deck if that, just so you guys have that. And again, guys, don't hesitate to reach out if you guys have any questions. Just shoot me a text, give me a call, and be happy to. If you guys do an open house this weekend and you're like, dang it, I was asked this really weird question, I had no idea how to answer it. Challenge me, because I feel really confident in being able to overcome most objections at this point. So cool. You guys are awesome.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you.
Right back at you, Taylor. Thank you so much.
You guys.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.